Welcome everyone. Happy Friday. I'm the Grace Strega and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Friday, August 22nd, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Can I please have the first two cards in our 5-card spread for today? First two cards we are starting our day off with today are the Justice card in its reversal in combination with the Ace of Cups in its reversal. The reason I'm laughing is I don't know if you were here, like if you were here yesterday, for yesterday's reading, we had the Death card in combination with the Hierophant. Okay. We've just been starting the days recently with like the most chill of cards. No, it's fine. Listen, this is why I'm telling you guys this right now. The energy right now is super intense. It is incredibly intense. And I think that one of the things I need you to recognize, and the reason I am saying this is so you remember, like I want you to write this down. This is an outside problem right now. It's not an inside problem. Okay? It is not an inside problem. It's an outside problem. Okay? And honestly, I feel like the ability to recognize and identify that is going to be kind of helpful as we navigate through it. Because the problem with energy like this is not only is it really intense, but it's also in Virgo. And Virgo, we love Virgo energy. Like absolutely, like no slack to Virgo energy. But there's a tendency with Virgo energy to want to over-internalize things. Okay? So I want you to imagine that is the energetic soup that we are sitting in right now. Okay? I want you to think about an energetic soup we're sitting in where it's really intense and you have to convince yourself, you have to work into the space of trying to externalize it. But then the energy itself is like trying to internalize it. Okay? It's not to say that energy like this it can be helpful, but I want you to start in the context of understanding that is how this energy is right now. It's working through, right? It's working through a lot of that. It's like working through a lot of that energy that feels like it wants you to internalize it. But that's why, again, if we work towards, I feel like this is the thing we have to do with energy like this. We have to work towards recognizing proportionality as it relates to how we navigate frustration or how we navigate the frustration of the self. Because I keep on seeing, like, when we're able to bring patience to things, when we're able to bring that sense of energetic perseverance, right, we can feel the energetic frustration upon something, and then we just move through it, is what I keep on seeing, right? We allow the context by which we don't allow it to get too much to us, and we just kind of continue forward through it. Now, this is having a different impact right now, depending on where one finds oneself on the frequency cycles. Now, the first thing we have to recognize and identify, and I'm just going to bring this up, is we see a lot of energy right now in separation. I've got two different modalities. I'm going to walk you guys through the energy I see right now in separation, okay? Because there's a lot happening there. Okay, we got through. Okay. And a lot of it has to do with the continuation of understanding and recognizing what time can and cannot fix. Okay, time can fix things in the space of giving perspective. Right? Time is not a repairman. Time is an energetic healer. And the way that time heals is the ability to have perspective upon things. It isn't to say that there is not a proportionality of healing that is occurring right now in this type of energy. But I'll tell you right now, the space by which I am identifying restoration that is occurring in energetic cycles like this are specifically and particularly those experiences or those modalities wherein there was an occurrence where another person's emotionality was not proportional what was effectively happening, right? And this is often the journey that we work through in relationality to ourselves, right? The ability to identify and recognize that is how we energetically heal. But, and there's a big but here, okay? The reason I'm saying this but, because this is the opposite of that is potentially leading to the closing point of a lot of unhealthy energetic cycles. Because what is defined as an energetic standard is something that we hold ourselves to, something that we energetically articulate upon. So that ability of recognizing and identifying what that work is allows the proportionality to be able to be energetically adaptable insofar as we're doing that type of work. So that's why we keep on seeing that for a lot of those relationships, if these are experiences wherein something from the past is coming back and someone's trying to restore something or trying to see if emotionality is gone, wherein another was able to feel energetically stable or supportive to a certain extent in being able to articulate upon what that standard is. I feel like I keep on seeing that for a lot of those relationships, that finalitude or that understanding and recognition of such is what is allowing energy to move forward and to heal. This brings us to a lot of the energy right now that is moving into divine union. And for a lot of those relationships or a lot of those circumstances or situations, that observation of being able to recognize and identify what feels like the healthy work, right? And I'm going to tell you right now, some of these relationships that are coming together in this energy, you will recall that it was working through the proportionality of what that work is. So for a lot of those relationships that I'm seeing right now, that ability of doing so, right? Not only are these relationships that are coming together right now able to feel so much of that feeling of support, because it's the observation of talking towards what they've been healing from. And then here comes the retrograde, and a lot of those past feelings or circumstances come back. A lot of these relationships, they're building into the context of the energetic trust that they have in oneself, because it's the observation of being able to articulate and define what one is trying to do in a better fashion. So for a lot of these relationships, that observation, I keep on seeing there's like this modality of relief that is occurring there. And what is the relief that we're effectively seeing in a lot of those experiences? It is the observation of not only being able to articulate upon what one is working to heal from, but then also seeing the embodiment of one doing that work in that capacity. And it's allowing that energy to move deeper into partnership at this time. We're also seeing that for a lot of those relationships moving deeper into divine union right now, we're identifying that for a lot of those relationships moving deeper into divine union, we're seeing that these are also speaking about that, this is also a lot of the expediation of the path work that we're identifying for a lot of those magician partnerships that were coming together from about the time that Mercury and Venus stationed direct behind Neptune, to the solstice period that we just had earlier this summer. Now, for a lot of these relationships, one of the things I have to stress, these relationships are moving at really, really fast. I would not be surprised right now if there's a lot of proposals that are coming together or a lot of that expediation. Now, why are we seeing that expediation? Because these are the relationships that we're building into the mutual authenticity that allows the context by which something can begin. And so for a lot of these relationships, the ability to expedite upon plans, the frustration that's occurring there is potentially articulating to those outside of partnership that expediency is not based upon something being wrong, but rather something being right. The excitement or the achievement point of being able to tell another what one has found in terms of a healthy partnership is almost requiring that ability to bring something back from the past to define and articulate upon what one is working to do in a better fashion. This brings us to the energy deep within divine union. And this is just to tell you again that qualitatively, this energy is most difficult right now for the energy deep within divine union. Why? Because you'll understand that for a lot of the relationships doing that work, it's helping build into the context of healthy direction. It's the observation of being able to recognize and identify what one is trying to do in a better way. The energy deep within divine union, a lot of these chariot relationships, it's not really defining the direction of partnership. It's just like they've never needed that. So that's why I told you that it's almost like a little bit about the energy that we're experiencing is working through like the energetic frustration, things that get to you in a way. And I'm going to tell you right now, I would not be surprised if you're deep within divine union right now and you have that feeling of testiness right now, if you feel a lot of that excitability, if you have a lot of this feeling that's coming through in this energy of things getting under your skin that typically would not bother you so much. Like I said, what's annoying about this energy right now is it's external, but it makes us feel like we want to internalize it. Can I get one card to clarify? There's that Page of Cups in its upright. So it's excitability energy. You know, it's working through the energetic excitability of something. It's a lot of that energetic testiness. And I'm going to walk you guys through this right now for the energy deep within divine union, because I'm going to tell you right now, let me just explain to you if it feels like a lot of that heightened sensitivity right now. We've got all these planets. We got all these planets chilling out in Aries. There's like a lot of planets in Aries, and not a single one of them is direct. They're all retrograde. Okay? Got all the planets in Aries that are retrograde right now. A lot of that temperamentality, a lot of that finickiness. We also have, at the same time, we got a bunch of planets that are in Jupiter. I mean, not in Jupiter, in Cancer. We've got Jupiter and Venus in Cancer, which again can create a lot of emotionality, like a lot of sensitivity. Cancer is a very sensitive energy. So we've got testiness, sensitivity, and then to add to it, we've moved into Virgo. We moved into Virgo at the same time that we're going through a Virgo new moon, which creates the space of like getting very refined in relationality to perfection. It's working in the context of one's own sense of perfection and feeling frustrated within it. So I'm saying all of this right now to help those, and particularly the energy deep within divine union. Because for the energy deep within divine union, that ability of just, I keep on hearing, moving through something and allowing the ability to articulate upon like what is energetically bothering the self, right? I keep on hearing this is the refinement that is achievable via the finesse, right? And working through the frustration in terms of what one is trying to do that allows you the context of being able to do something energetically different. It's not easy. Okay. It's not easy right now. And I'm going to tell you, like, I feel like it's almost like a lot of big feelings, like little tiny teaspoon. It's like that type of energy. It's like working through things proportionately may sometimes feel a little bit energetically overwhelming. Let's continue right now. Fourth and fifth card in our 5-card spread for today. We have our 6 of Cups in its reversal in combination with our 4 of Cups in its reversal. Let's talk a little bit about, so let's go back to the energy that we were talking about right now in separation, because there's a lot, I keep wondering, there's a lot that I'm seeing that's happening right now for the energy in separation. But one of the things that I'm identifying that feels so important for a lot of that energy in separation is I keep on seeing it's understanding the difference between something that is energetically restorational versus energy that just misses us is what I keep on seeing. Because the observation, like what do we understand in healthy partnership? Often, I'm going to just walk you guys through this. Often, the reason we come into separation is due to a disambiguation as it relates to direction. This is a very big reason that we fall into separation. Healthy relationship allows the context of having mutual manifestation goals. Now, this is why I keep on seeing that for a lot of these relationships, that ability of understanding, and I keep on hearing, remember when I said that a lot of these partnerships right now that are coming together, they have really strong foundations. It's the observation of being able to recognize and identify the fundamental goals as it relates to healthy partnership. I keep on seeing that for a lot of these relationships, that ability to be able to energetically define upon something, to work through something in such a way that they're able to articulate upon the energetic frustration of the self, but then also I keep on hearing the ability to move through something energetically together. Everything I keep on identifying there is allowing, I keep on hearing, it's allowing the context by which the relationship is actually deepening at this time, because for a lot of those relationships, the observation of what that work is, the ability to articulate and define upon it, this is creating the space by which the energy is able to say to one another and allow the space of being able, I keep on hearing, they're having the ability to articulate upon the observable history of the difference between someone trying to come back towards them to heal versus energy asking them to go back into an unhealthy cycle. So that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of these relationships, I feel like they're breathing like a sigh of relief, because it's the observation of what one is healing from that allows one the ability to proceed energetically forward into healthy partnership. And so for a lot of these relationships, I almost hear them articulating to one another the experiences that they've had with those that were not able to fully embody the articulation of a manifestation goal, which is the ability to speak towards upon someone trying to heal from something, but then as soon as something comes back, they just rush back in the same direction of it. So everything I keep on seeing there's a lot of that. I keep wondering, there's a lot of that resolution because it is amplified and articulated upon the energetic restoration or the relief of seeing the embodied manifestation. This brings us to a lot of the energy that's moving deeper into divine union. For a lot of these relationships right now, clarification between our Justice card in its reversal in combination with our Ace of Cups in its reversal. One of the things I see that may be frustrating right now to energy moving deeper into divine union, because I do feel like I see that I feel like there's a lot of energy that's moving into divine union today. There's a lot of energy that's moving deeper into divine union. But one of the things that we see that is so important about a lot of those energetic journeys right now has to do with the understanding and recognition of being able to disambiguate the difference between rushing processes in the past because something was energetically wrong versus rushing processes in the present because something is energetically right. I keep on seeing there that definition or that observation, the ability, I almost feel like for a lot of the energy right now, those partnerships being able to articulate that to energy outside of union, that is something that is very, I keep on hearing it's very vulnerable, especially with that Strength card in its reversal. Right? Because it's almost like I feel like the frustration point for a lot of those partnerships that are coming together right now is almost recognizing or identifying the intimacy that's energetically released in those experiences where we're able to identify and articulate upon something. But everything I keep on seeing in those modalities has to do with the space of being able to, I keep on hearing like they almost have to revisit their own history to a certain extent to help others understand how nourished they are in the partnership that they're moving deeper into union upon. This brings us to a lot of the energy deep within divine union. And this is just a reminder to those deep within divine union, this type of energy can feel most intense deep within divine union right now, because you'll notice that for the energy in separation and the energy moving deeper into divine union, it is the clarification and the intensification of partnership that's moving into deeper union. But for the energy deep within divine union, it's harder because it's working through hypersensitivity and also frustration and finding productive ways of communicating through that. Clarification between our Ace of Cups in its reversal in combination with our Page of Cups in its upright. We've got here our Three of Wands in its upright. So one of the things that we see, one of the things I keep on seeing that's happening right now for a lot of the energy deep within divine union is allowing, I keep on hearing, this is a great energy for working on finesse. And what do I need by finesse? Because you have to understand that with the space of understanding and operating through the temperance lessons, we often work through the frustration with ourselves, aspects of ourself that we get frustrated upon. But when we understand and identify the frustration, that we then move into a context of fineness, we don't get mad about our own sediment, but rather we allow the sediment to effectively move us into a space of doing something or perfecting something in a better fashion. So something that I keep on seeing here is for a lot of the energy doing that work, it's working through the old frustrations of the self that allow you, I keep on seeing, to do something in a way that becomes easier, right? It's the definition point of easing something. Like, that's what we mean by finesse. It's taking something frustrating and making it easier, that allows its own arrival point as it relates to what it is that you're trying to do in a better capacity. So everything I keep on seeing right now, it's like the vulnerability that then moves one into determination. So for a lot of the energy deep within divine union doing that work, it's like I keep on hearing, it's like the intent, it's like working, it's like allowing the intensity to guide you instead of frustrate you. Continuing to get clarification between our Page of Cups in its upright in combination with our Six of Cups in its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify? We've got here the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles in its upright. So again, it's like grounding and grounding and grounding and grounding. And then when you're feeling a little more frustrated, ground a little bit more. I'm going to keep on saying this. Okay, guys, if all you're doing right now is working on feeling grounded in this energy, that is perfectly fine. Okay, because this energy right now, it's very temperamental and it's very emotional. But that's why, again, when we're feeling energy like this too, being able to ground is going to help. And that's why, again, this is a beautiful new moon for building in new routines, new grounded practices, new energetic resolutions, anything that allows one to fortify within the context of the self while simultaneously observing the energetic sensitivity of the self. Continuing to get clarification between our Six of Cups in its reversal in combination with our Four of Cups in its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now with our Knight of Swords. Man, this Knight of Swords energy. Let's just talk about it right now. The thing with the Knight of Swords energy is, and I'm just going to say it again. If you're feeling very sensitive in this energy, the best way to observe this is, I want you to think of an energy that we're sitting in that is very intense, that has that ability of desiring to over-internalize things. That is like the combination of energy that we're experiencing at this time. So what do we do when we feel that intensity of something that's very intense that wants to internalize it? We are able to bring that sense of proportionality to things via setting our intentions in relationality to things that we could be doing in a better way, right? The observable, like I keep on hearing, moving that into practicality is how we ground through it. Right? Not being overly internalized upon the self, but being fortified within the self. Continuing, and I'm going to tell you right now what we're effectively identifying for a lot of that energy in separation. I just keep on seeing that this is a time where there's a lot of that deepening of energetic connection. There's a lot of that intensification that's occurring in relationality to observing what feels energetically fundamental. Now, what do we talk? Why do we keep on hearing the word fundamental that's coming through? Because when we feel emotionality, okay, we feel emotionality in different spaces. We either feel emotionality upon something that isn't that big a deal. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's okay if you're having a little bit of that temperamentality right now, because I told you there's a lot of that intensification that's occurring in this energy. It wants to, it's like the type of energy that kind of like wants you to take a molehill and turn it into an energetic mountain. But that's why I keep on seeing that one's own ability of being energetically proportional around something, allowing something to fortify you, allowing something to be able to move through something, but almost like coming into the space of just allowing it to guide you in terms of what it is that you could be doing better. Right? That is the best way to utilize this type of energy right now. I'm going to tell you right now, I do not want you over internalizing something. All right? I keep on saying this. I do not want you over internalizing anything right now. And I don't want you energetically assuming things, because this type of energy, it can create a lot of that. I keep on hearing, it can create a lot of that desire to be energetically reactive to something that isn't that big a deal. It's not that big a deal. But that's why, again, that's how we heal through it. We recognize and identify that that is what the sensitivity brings with it. This is also really important right now, because this same energy is what's helping a lot of energy move deeper into divine union right now. I'm saying most of the stuff I'm saying right now is for the energy deep within divine union. Because for the energy coming into divine union, it has more to do. I keep on getting it's understanding and recognizing what time can and cannot heal. What can time heal? Time can heal circumstances or situations wherein the emotionality that we felt upon something was not proportional to what was energetically happening, right? That is the articulation by which time can actually heal something, because it shows us something in relationality to what we could have done in a better way. I do see that there is a small portion of energy that's coming into healing with conversations of that nature. What time does not heal from the perspective of emotionality is the moment or the modality wherein we hold an energetic standard upon something, and we feel a lot of that vibration as it relates to being able to feel energetically protective of it. And that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy right now in separation, why do we feel so upset in those experiences where we feel emotional on something that's energetically important? Another person goes away and then they come back and they say, "Are you finished yet?" And when we're moving in a space that we feel energetically fundamental on a standard, we never energetically finish it, because it's the observation of being able to fortify upon the desire to finish the energetic conversation, right? So I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing that work, that observation of being able to articulate and refine and define what one is able to see. What I actually see is happening right now, and I need to stress this, there's something very significant and important that is happening right now for some energy healing in separation from some form of energetic trauma. But what I keep on seeing, because the reason I'm getting this right now is you'll remember and recognize that trauma is often occurs in spaces by which we feel energetic pain and we don't know why we feel the way we do. But if there's an observation here of recognizing and identifying, or even the space of another person coming back, not willing to continue to have a conversation, but almost seeing if a standard has dissolved or the emotionality has dissolved around something. This is why I keep on seeing for a lot of those relationships, that observation of doing so is allowing for the energy. I keep on seeing, feeling something that would have devastated them, but instead frustrates them. The observation of recognizing what it is that they're energetically healing from. Again, the gift that time allows one in the context of being able to have energetic perspective. But this is also why I see that there's a lot of relationships that are coming together right now, and they're building into the context of an energetic healing in relationality to the observation of working through something is articulating upon the mutual frustration that is energetically shared. This is, I told you, these are those temperance partnerships that are moving into divine union by sharing energetic frustration together. And when we share energetic frustration together, it allows the context by which we feel energetically fortified. But that's why I see this energy like working in the context of remediating with one another by giving each other advice, articulating upon what one can do in a better fashion, healing in the space of being able to identify and recognize what one is trying to do in a greater way. So there's a lot of, like I keep on hearing, a lot of those temperance relationships are coming together right now via the ability to build energetic resolve. Continuing to get clarification between our Strength card in its reversal and our Three of Wands in its upright. Can I get one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now with our Eight of Wands in its reversal. So what are we seeing right now in relationality to the Eight of Wands in its reversal? A lot of the space that we're identifying in the Eight of Wands in its reversal, I keep on seeing that for a lot of those magician partnerships, moving deeper into divine union, that observation of being able to articulate upon what is happening in the present that may share some kind of resemblance to something in their own experience in the past. It's the observation. I told you, there's a lot of these relationships that are moving through some chirality lessons. And what are chirality lessons? Chirality lessons are difficult because it's the observation of something that looks similar to another thing, but often in a very different context. So this is why I keep on hearing that if these are those magician partnerships, and in the past they were trying to move through, they were trying to deepen a connection via the desperation, the hope that moving something into a deepening of a connection was going to make something better in some way, but instead recognizing and identifying or feeling that energetic fortification point in terms of being able to articulate and define what one is trying to do in a better way. This is a lot of the energy that's able to almost like go into that space of talking to others outside of partnership and helping, I keep on hearing, helping another person recognize and realize, like I keep on hearing via the history of the self, what one is trying to do in a way that allows for that. It's like the energy that's saying like this, the expediency is not from desperation, but it's from restoration. It's the excitement or the delight that they're experiencing that is allowing them to move something deeper into an energetic connection. This brings us to a lot of the energy right now that is deep within divine union. And that's why I keep on telling you guys that this energy right now, deep within divine union, is the hardest to experience, because you see, like everything I keep on defining is like it's moving the energy deeper into the frequencies. But when you're deep within divine union, it's requiring one to become more energetically comprehensive, because it's requiring one to be able to just process through something in such a way that you're able to, I keep on seeing, like articulate upon the meaning of something in a bigger way. Clarification between our Three of Wands in combination with our Queen of Pentacles in its upright. We've got here our Page of Pentacles in its reversal. So what are we seeing right now with the Page of Pentacles in its reversal? I feel like there's something very interesting that's happening right now. And this is the benefit, like I need to point this out. This is the benefit of retrograde energy. Right? Because when we're going through when we're going through an energetic retrograde, it can often put a lot of intensity in the spaces or places that we feel energetically vulnerable, is what I keep on getting. Like when we're feeling, when we have this much, I need to point this out. We've got this much retrograde energy. It feels like it puts pressure on the spaces we feel most vulnerable, because especially we've also got Jupiter and Venus. Like we've got Jupiter and Venus in Cancer right now. So I want you to think about that. We're feeling very, very emotional. Okay. We're feeling very, very emotional. We feel like a lot of that intensification of pressure. And it's like I keep on saying it requires, or it needs, that space of energetic release, right? So that ability of doing so, the ability to articulate and define upon it, I keep on seeing that there's a lot of that energy that is getting better at becoming comprehensive, articulating and defining to one another how one feels about things, in order, I keep on hearing, in order to be more expansive in relationality to navigating a lot of the emotional intensity that we're currently experiencing. So I feel like there's something very, important about that is occurring. But, and I keep on seeing it is having a different impact on masculine and feminine energy, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. For masculine, and I just got to say this right now, like I want to say we've got a lot of the Page of Cups here. We've got a lot of the Page of Pentacles, right? So that's a lot of the work in terms of feeling energetically frustrated, right? But a lot of that inner child healing that's coming through in proportion to that, right? The ability, I keep on hearing, the ability of masculine to be able to articulate upon their own emotional vulnerability. For feminine, I see that this is feminine that is working very much on being able to energetically ground, which is the ability to articulate upon the emotions in order to get their energetic needs met. So I want to stress this right now, and I'm saying this right now specifically for the energy deep within divine union. It's having a different impact on masculine and feminine energy. So the way, how do we fit, like what do we do? What do we do when we see a lot of that energy that isn't necessarily in the same space? We effectively communicate through it. We articulate and we communicate upon it. And that communication point allows for, I keep on hearing, the ability to define how one is trying to do something in a greater fashion. So I feel like it's interesting because I feel like it's hard because I keep on seeing, remember, the one thing I want to say right now with this particular energy is it wants you to go into hermit mode. That's why, remember yesterday? Remember yesterday what we saw? And remember how I told you that it's not frequent for me to get the Queen, the Queen of Swords doesn't come out a lot. The Hermit card doesn't come out a lot. We had the Queen of Swords out yesterday with the Hermit. So I keep on seeing like the desire to like internalize, right? The desire to go inwards is never more than energy like we have right now, because I told you it's very intense, and it's like a little internalization right now. It'd feel a little nice, wouldn't it? a little internalization. You want to do a little internalizing? You want to over internalize it for a treat? You want to do a little over internalizing for a treat? A little treat? No, don't do that. Don't do that in this energy. Do the opposite. Communicate through it. Build into the pathwork of energetic communication. And I know that's hard right now because I'm telling you that double Virgo energy, that double just hit you just walloped you right on the head, right? You got that and listen, we adore Virgo energy, but you have to navigate it with proportionality, right? Because I keep on seeing like that internalization point, right? Allowing the space by which you're able to, even the space by which we articulate upon our own desire to energetically hermit up through things, right? It's like I keep on seeing that it's the context by which we're able to do something. I keep on hearing when we feel the desire to hermit, our communication allows something to move through it. right? It gives it the space by which we can find, like, I feel like it's finding the pathwork of being able to move with rigor through something, even though the energy itself feels like a strong wind, is kind of the best way to describe it. Continuing to get clarification between our Queen of Pentacles in combination with our Knight of Swords in its upright. We've got here our Five of Swords in its upright. So let's talk a little bit about this too, because I got to stress this right now. You know, the other thing that we're going through with this type of energy is this type of energy can create the space by which we feel very, I keep on hearing, we feel very energetically. Okay, let me walk you guys through this because this is like really specific. We get very energetically triggered. And then when we get triggered, it feels like we're in a past experience, is what I keep on seeing. It's like, it's giving me like, this energy also has a lot of like flashbackiness to it, is the best way I can describe it. I think it has a lot to do. The reason I would not be surprised about that right now is because Chiron and Eris are in such close approximation to each other. And like, I got to tell you, Chiron and Eris, like Chiron and Eris, like together can create a lot of that flashbackiness, which is the space of being like, picture it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I was right there. And that's often what happens. It's a conversation about the fact that our emotions get energetically connected to experiences, right? And sometimes when we feel energetically triggered, right, boom, 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 like we're right back in that space of feeling the energetic trauma around something. So that's all that, like, there's something important to say there in relationality to navigating energy such as this. In relationality to allowing oneself the space, I keep on hearing observing but not absorbing. And that doesn't mean, listen, if you catch yourself, like even in the space by which I keep on hearing, like, a moment doesn't have to become a week. A minute doesn't have to become an hour. You know, this is how we heal from energetic triggers, which is we don't get all stressed out if we catch ourselves not being great. Like, that's literally what healing is. Healing is being able to catch yourself more quickly when you feel like you're moving into something that doesn't feel like it's energetically healthy for the self. So I want you to kind of like I want you to think about that. I want you to kind of think about the ability, and that's when we mean terms and relationality, to also bringing compassion to circumstances or situations. That compassion is such that we're able to articulate how we are trying to do something better, but also the compassion that we give to others in the process of working through those same pathworks of learning, right? It's a lot of, I keep on seeing like there's a, like, it's a very, I feel like it's a deep moon. It's like, it's a deep moon because all of the planets are in retrograde. So it's the ability to like work through our own depth, but then be able to articulate it, that becomes the profoundness of compassion that we give to ourselves, but also to those around us. Continuing to get clarification between our Eight of Wands in its reversal, in combination with our Page of Wands and its Page of Pentacles in its reversal. We've got here our Four of Pentacles in its upright. So, you know, there's something there's something very I want to describe this type of energy. The best way I can describe it is, it's an energy. I want you to think a bit about moving through this energy as developing resilience. Is kind of I keep on hearing it's compassion and resilient. And I keep on hearing it requires resilient to be energetically compassionate. And why does it require resilience to be energetically compassionate? Because when we are feeling like, I keep on hearing, when we feel energetically frustrated, it makes, I keep on hearing, when we feel frustrated, what does it make us do? It wants us, when we feel frustrated, we want to give up on things, right? It's the modality by which we want to just like, I keep on hearing, like, we want to throw something down. We want to push something away from us, right? And in that context, and I keep on, and this has been a message that's been coming through a lot over the last few days. When we push away, we miss the conversation. When we push away, we miss the conversation, which is, and this is what I mean, this is often comes through when I'm reading for Cancer energy, because Cancer energy has to work through this a lot. Aries have to work through it too. When we push away, if we just stuck around for a minute longer, there could have been a modality of restoration that occurs, right? The ability to work through our own frustration allows the compassion room to get in. Is what I keep on hearing. Our ability to navigate through our own frustration allows the ability for the compassion to come in, right? You have to be patient in that context because a lot of the work that we do in that capacity, and I keep on hearing, like, we get frustrated at ourselves, we get frustrated at our situations, we get frustrated upon our circumstances. And it's not the space by which, like, the frustration, I keep hearing, the frustration that's energetically communicated is the one that allows us to be able to do something in a better fashion, right? And that's the thing about with all of this retrograde energy. And this is just to show you, okay? This is just to show you why it's not just the Mercury retrograde that can feel like it's energetically intense, because the Mercury retrogrades always ask us to energetically innovate upon something, right? And especially in the house by which it's framed or within, in the context of working through that. That's why I told you guys that Mercury retrograding in Leo during this period actually made this retrograde energy a little bit easier, because what was it saying? Have you tried putting a little compassion on that? But the space by which we have to understand the level or degree of intensity that we're currently experiencing. We've got Neptune and Saturn that are retrograding out together, which is all about the memories. It's like the memories that will not stay. The memories will not stay where I put them. Every time I try to put the memories somewhere, they come around here. It's like, that's often what it feels like. Right? Like, that's often what it feels like in the context of working through the journey of the self. It's the observation of the memories memories don't like to stay where we energetically put them. It's like memories are like, they just, like, they kind of just, they just move around like that. And Chiron and Eris makes us feel like a mess. Is like getting the Chiron and Eris is like, that's the conversation that we see that's happening. The fact that we have a difficulty point in keeping our memories where we want them to be sometimes creates the space that we feel energetically messy. But that's in the space by which, when we are working towards healing the self, right, then we heal from our own experience with our memories, so that when they arrive or when we feel them, it doesn't feel like it energetically disabled us, or doesn't create the space by which we feel overwhelmed by them. We have the observation of being able to observe through them, right? To absorb how much we've changed, and then allowing oneself to kind of proceed forward to a certain extent. So that's what I keep on seeing, like, and that's the type of work, like, that's the type of work that is good in energetic situations or circumstances such as this. It's allowing the ability of feeling that and feeling energetically restored by it. Now, that's what I meant in terms of a lot of the energy right now. In separation, I'll tell you right now, and I'm gonna walk you through what I'm seeing, because I've got 3 different things happening depending on what's happening in separation. There's the modality or the experience of navigating something in relationality to the proportionality of how one feels versus what one brought forth to a situation. This is very characteristic of the type of work we see in a healthy, energetic healing process. We all have those experiences where we feel that over proportionality to something that was inconsequential, and the ability to articulate through it allows the context by which something can be energetically healed. So there is some pathwork here of restoration occurring, but those are the modalities by which I'm seeing that's resulting. What is not happening is experiences, and this is where I see that there may be a lot of closing of cycles that is energetically occurring right now in relationality to feeling or talking upon something that is energetically fundamental, something that feels important, something that feels energetically significant. And that ability of articulating upon the energetic significance of the self, the manifestation goals that we derive to bring into partnership. And I keep on hearing manifestation goals in partnership are not inconsequential. They're energetically fundamental, meaning that the ability to observe and articulate what the manifestation goals is, if these are argumentation points where there is separation in the midst of articulating upon manifestation goals, and another person proceeds to come back and say, are you finished yet? That's the energy that says we're fundamental in the manifestation goals. They don't go anywhere. They typically get stronger as you're proceeding on a healing process, right? So I keep on seeing that for a lot of the relationships or a lot of the situations in that way, that observation of articulating upon something, it's either creating the space by which there is some trauma. I'm actually going to tell you, there is some trauma that is being healed right now in energetic separation, where there is the observation of something like that occurring. Someone, I keep on hearing the ability of someone trying to come back to a situation, hoping that the standards have dissolved, instead of resolving to desire the same manifestation goals as another, right? That is allowing for some healthy closure to unhealthy situations or circumstances. Or these are modalities and experiences whereby and wherein we recognize and identify that these are some energies right now coming together. And that's what I meant, some energies shifting into divine union right now, with the observation of being able to articulate, to almost predicate the energetic expectation of what one could effectively see, or working through the resolution of the self and the adaptability of something. And even in the context of the energy, being able not just to articulate upon the energetic expectation of what one was anticipating, but also drawing forth into the space of being able to see, like this is the energy that predicated situations like this surrounding the healthy partnership that they're trying to build with another. And then the energy making the energetic healthy choice and moving towards the space where the mutual work is. There's a lot of that energy that is expressing the relief, and also healing from the trauma of energetic spaces that were articulated upon the difference between someone articulating that they were ready to move forward upon something versus someone going back exactly to the thing that they were articulating that they were trying to heal from. This brings us to a lot of the energy moving deeper into divine union right now. Clarification between our Page of Pentacles in its reversal. Woo, there it is. And the five of Swords in its upright. And this is like, I keep on seeing like what's difficult for some of the energy right now. Moving deeper into divine union. It is the amplification and the articulation point for the energy that's moving deeper into divine union, in terms of feeling the frustration of having to talk about the past, to clarify the difference between the expediency that others may see them bringing to a situation that is energetically healed versus those experiences where they may have moved in the same way in something that felt like it was closer akin to desperation. Because what is the energetic feeling of desperation that we often see? That is the desire, again, the anxiety point of trying to heal something with the false concept that moving something deeper into partnership will restore something that's not there, right? Versus the energy that is trying to articulate to another that sense of, I keep on hearing that sense of energetic determination in relationality to expressing how energetically healthy something is. The ability one is able to bring forth in terms of identifying and articulating what one is trying to do in a better way. And it's almost, I keep on hearing this energy that's saying that I feel like that's the energy that's like saying to one another that they feel like they've energetically arrived to a certain extent, because I keep on seeing it's the energy that's talking to another and articulating upon the fact that that expediency point isn't trying to change something. It's the identification of the joy in terms of what they've energetically found or arrived to. This brings us to the energy deep within divine union. And this is just me, again, articulating why this energy is so frustrating for energy right now deep within divine union. Because you'll notice and you'll recognize that in the space by which I've talked about the energy and separation and the energy that's coming into divine union, it is the type of energy that helps determine and clarify and define upon definition of direction. The energy deep within divine union, a lot of this energy is it's the a lot of the energy that just recently entered divine union were chariot partnerships. It's not necessarily changing, like it's not adjusting the energetic course of the relationship itself so much as it feels like, it might even feel like it's putting like pressure upon it, because it's a lot of that intensity that feels like it is defining upon small things. But that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy working through that, finding those, I keep on hearing finding those energetically healthy channels, right? The ability to articulate and define upon it is allowing the energy to become more like comprehensive, because it's not, again, and like the hardest thing, I'm going to just keep on saying this for the energy deep within divine union, it's a type of energy that derives or longs for you to over internalize within it. But even in the space by which you recognize and feel that sensitivity or that desire to over internalize, like being able to move against it to a certain extent allows, like I keep on hearing, it's like working through the path work that compassion often requires energetic resiliency away from the temptation of wanting to over internalize something that isn't within the self, but something that one is navigating outside the self. Final card, and that's what I keep on seeing, that for a lot of the energy, like the hardest thing for energy deep within divine union is that desire to go internal with it, right? The desire to go within is what I keep on hearing for both masculine and feminine, because you'll remember yesterday we had the hermit energy in combination with the Queen of Swords. But that's why I keep on hearing like the best way of navigating through this energy right now is via I keep on hearing the energetic productive communication upon it. Like the ability to move through something and put that energetic, I keep on hearing like putting that force of effort through that is how we determine and define upon finesse. So it's working through energetic finesse. But, and again, I keep on hearing even for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, I would not be surprised if there's conversations that are happening in terms of how to navigate difficult situations like in a smoother fashion, or how they can articulate upon something, or how to bring, and I like to point out, like finesse means fineness, like how can we do something in a finer way. Final card for today's spread, between our Four of Pentacles in its upright in combination with our Six of Wands in its transverse. Ooh, we've got our Nine of Swords in its upright. Listen, I'm going to just say this to everybody going through this right now. There's going to be a lot of feelings coming up. Okay? There's going to be a lot of feelings coming up. This type of energy right now, everything's retrograding in Aries. Okay? Everything is retrograding in Aries. A lot of feelings come up. And it's okay, right? And I need to stress this. As long as we articulate through feelings instead of react to them, it allows the ability of being able to articulate upon what one is trying to do in a better fashion. And I keep on seeing that I keep on hearing, even in the space by which you feel energetically frustrated, like through experiences or circumstances in this way, I keep on seeing the ability to, I want to kind of identify and recognize this in the context by which we observe ourselves. And I keep on seeing, and this is, and I'll tell you right now, this is how Virgo energy is helpful, right? Like and I always like to point this out, like Virgos have this incredible, Virgos don't recognize they do this, but when Virgos walk into the room, everybody straightens up, like almost subliminally, like whoop, whoop, whoop. Like it's a lot of that type of energy. But that's also, you have to understand, a Virgo energy can often help us with poise, because you have to understand that sometimes a healthy spiritual journey is recognizing and holding one's own energetic sense of poise, which is the space by which you get frustrated, right? And we all have those moments. You get frustrated at yourself and you're like, what am I doing? Right? It's like the space by which you're like, why am I getting all up in my feels about it? And it's like that moment, and I like to point that out, that moment of poise is the space by which you just kind of like allow the context of allowing the space of centering yourself again. So I want you to think about that as you're navigating energy like this one. Poise is the space by which you feel something and then you center yourself within it, right? You feel a lot of that, emotionality that makes you feel like and then you just, you find that ability of being, and I like to point this out. It's the energetic centering in reminder of one's own energetic purpose. Like that's why we call it poise. And so I want you, I feel like this is a very important, this is a very good moon to work upon the manifestation and being able to recognize and identify what one puts one's own sense of poise upon, which is the space by which you're able, again, this is what we talk about with a healthy mantra, is or even in the space by which we get frustrated. Often we have those modalities where we feel like we get very emotionally invested in things that don't feel like they're super necessary. And then we find our energetic center by finding our energetic poise, which allows us to find the context by which we reaffirm our energetic purpose. And then we are able to kind of move through something in a way that allows us to feel like we found that energetic center. That's going to be very helpful because especially with energy like this, again, this type of energy has the ability of, I keep on getting, the difficulty with the energy that we're experiencing right now is, again, with all of this energy in Aries and then all Jupiter and Venus in Cancer, it has that desire. It's like the energy that is would you like to over internalize it as a little treat? But that ability of being no, I'm good. I'm just going to find my poise instead. It helps us. It helps us, it'll help you kind of navigate through that. And I mean that across all of the frequencies because I know it's very energetically intense, but this is what we can do to kind of effectively navigate through that. So, and I keep on hearing, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want anybody hermit. I know that the tendencies there. I don't want you hermiting up through this full moon. Make sure that you're not over, because again, even the hermiting up and even the Queen of Sorting it, that's often, it's not to say that every energy is good for it, but this is the space by which I keep on seeing, our words are blessed because we're able to articulate and communicate what we're trying to do in a better fashion that allows its own resolution point. So I keep on hearing, I know, and here's the thing about it, I know this energy feels like a contemplative moon. I encourage you to try to communicate through it. I know that it feels like you want to internalize. I want you to try to communicate through it. Okay. And if you're mad at me, for saying that, I want you to do it twice. Bottom of the deck. That's the double Virgo for you. That's the double Virgo. That's the Virgo, us coming into Virgo season with the Virgo new moon, which is if me saying to you, you got to communicate on something you want to internalize. If you say no, now you have to do it twice. Bottom of the deck on this, King of Wands in its reversal. King of Wands in its reversal. I'm telling you, this is I want to be alone moon. This is I'm going to go, this is a lot of this, I'm going to go put on I'm going to go crawl under a rock. Don't you dare. It's a lot of that type of energy. Don't you dare. Because listen, I'm going to say this again. All right. And this is the lesson. This is a lesson that often Virgos and Cancers, this is the problem with this type of energy. This is the same lesson, and this is what you have to be wary of with Virgo and Cancer energy. And I see this all the time when I'm reading for them. If you hadn't decided to get all in your feels and go away, you know what you missed? You missed out on the compassion. You missed out on all that compassion. There was this big compassion that was going to come through, but you walked away. You walked away and you missed all the compassion because that's what happens when we get too up in our feels. When we get too up in our feels and we energetically retreat, the compassion can't find us. The compassion cannot find us. So make sure that you're staying present through things, not going off into that energetic retreat space is what I keep on seeing. Continue to communicate through it. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and energetically receiving it. Just a reminder, if you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my site. Please keep in mind, if you book a private reading with me, it is a two-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my site. So I would encourage you to do it there. A couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody who attended our recent class on the Tower card. Our next class will be held on Wednesday, August 6th, September. September 17th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the Star card. If you would like to become part of that tarot class program, all you need to do is head on over to my stack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my stack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a paid subscriber, have access to as a paid monthly subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library class archive. Now, it's not necessary to catch up. I do my best to give you an update on everything we've studied within each class, but if you wanted to catch up, now's a great time to join because you've got a nice little bunch of weeks ahead of you before that class to be able to study. You'll also have access to You'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in relation to anything we've learned or studied thus far. And if you become a founding member to my Substack, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, but you will also receive full access to the entirety of the Tarot Church Library class archive. That is access to over 17 hours worth of material in an ever-expanding library. You will also have access to a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best benefit going towards your own personal tarot goals going forward. I also want to let you guys know that even if you don't become a paid subscriber, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. I also want to let you guys know that I also post my Mystic Meditation articles there. I'll be releasing one shortly this afternoon in terms of how to navigate this new moon energy that we're moving through. I also want to let you guys know that in terms of those experience, on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. Those are for any of my students that are seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly, as your schedule permits. Also, for my students that are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly, as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings. You can purchase those per dream or as a series. If you purchase the series, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again tomorrow.